Good morning. Good morning. What is going on out there today? Brent Abel here at webtennis.com. Happy Monday. Hope you guys had a great weekend. I hope you got out in the tennis court, hit a few tennis balls. Couldn't do that. Maybe got off the court and a little training, whatever that might be for you. But hope you got some activity, got off the couch, even if you're a football fan, right? Man, I'm just a sucker. I'm a sucker for this time of year. College football, pro football. Anyway, unfortunately, my 49ers are in the dumper this year. Injury central. Guys, look, what I've got for you today is I want to talk about I want to talk to you about something that I really believe for me has changed my game, and it's been a long time coming. It's been a long process. And it's, we talk about Beration Nation. We don't talk about it. It's the title of this thing today. And I don't even think Beration is a word, right? But berate, B-E-R-A-T-E, and all of the negative stuff that we say to ourselves. Not only do we say it so no one else can hear it, but man, we say a lot of it on the tennis court where anyone can hear it. And I used to be, I used to be the master of berating myself. And I don't know if you've, I've shared this story before. And I remember when I first started playing tournaments, adult tournaments back in the 70s. And, I remember playing this and I was terrible. I was not very good. This was way before I got with Mr. Stowe. And anyway, so I just got distracted by a text message here. Sorry. But I remember playing this tournament. One of the first tournaments I played was at Golden Gate Park in San Francisco. And I'd never really played against a true pusher before. Someone who strokes, were just kind of, they weren't good. He just pushed the ball around. He could run around all day. I think the guy showed up with, one wood racket and maybe, I don't know. So, but gym shorts and I don't think he had tennis shoes. I don't know, whatever. But anyway, so I'm out there and I'm thinking I'm pretty darn good, right? I've been over the Berkeley Tennis Club for, now a year or so. And that was sort of my year to try to get ready and start playing some tournaments. And so I go and I started entering a couple tournaments and, I'll tell you a story about my first tournament another time. But this is maybe a couple of tournaments into that effort of starting to get out there and want to get better as a player. And so I'm playing this guy and he's pushing me all over the place. I can't, my only thought is, okay, well, I can't let him do this. So I gotta just unload on balls, right? And of course I'm missing because my stroke technique at the time was not very good. And it was I just didn't really know what I was doing. So anyway, I'm going crazy. And in the beginning, I was sort of trying to figure this thing out. And then I finally realized I couldn't figure it out. And I started between points after I'd lose a point. And, I'd go for a big forehand, miss it deep or miss it wide or miss it short. And I just go crazy. And I just kind of, I'd yell out in a way that was sort of telling everyone around me that, I don't normally play like this, or I don't do this, or I don't do that, or come on, you've got to be kidding me type of stuff. And I guess, the story on that match is I lost badly, 2-1, maybe 2-2. I don't know. I'm probably fudging the score a little bit, maybe to my advantage. But I remember just being mortified. And, I chucked the racket a few times and screamed out and did this and that. And so after the match, I just kind of, slinked away over to a corner where in Golden Gate Park at the time had some, a kind of like a grandstand where you could watch a few courts. Anyway, so I'm up there just, moping and feeling sorry for myself and just disgusted and all that kind of stuff. And I see a match going on and I'm watching another guy who's going crazy. And he's screaming and yelling, and I'm going, my God, is that what I look like out there just like 30 minutes ago? And I just thought, my God, the guy just looks like a complete and utter buffoon. And so I did not really do anything with that epiphany for the next, I don't know how long. I just, Beration Nation. I would rate myself after points, not only internally, but also almost like I was making an excuse so that other people could hear it. Even if there was no one around, it was just me and an opponent, at least they knew, right? At least I thought that they knew. So it was kind of this C plus, B minus drama boy acting that really held me back. The kind of player that I really wanted to be. And I felt, athletically, I felt, hey, look, athlete, I've been given some natural athletic ability. I should be able to, not completely suck at this game. I should be able to get better. And so I worked on my game and did a lot of, this is again before Mr. Stowe. And I just remember working on technique and trying to think about tactics and strategies. And I got a little bit better, but I was still, the classic psychological stuff of just self-sabotage, right? Where I'm just not doing what I'm pretty darn close to doing now. I'm never going to be 100%, but I am like 1,000,000%. I don't know if that's a ratio or not, but I'm so much better than I used to be. And so I went to Mr. Stowe, and he obviously helped me with technique and strategy and all that. But I remember being frustrated many times on his court, and I would get pissed, and I'd kind of yell out something or do something, or hands on the hip and kind of shake my head and do this kind of stuff. Even if I didn't say anything, at least I was being a drama boy in terms of whatever. I'll just never forget the day he came up to me and he just got right in my face and he said two things. He said, every time you do this, every time you get upset and you shout out or you stomp around, whatever it is, or obviously if you chuck a racket, it's like your opponent is coming up to you and they're right in front of you. They're now on the other side of the net and they're taking their hand and they're just waving it in front of your face during the point. So you can't really see what's going on, right? And then he said, so Mr. Abel, yeah, wait a minute, hold on for a sec. He said, Mr. Abel, you got to take it like a man. I went, whoa, okay, thanks, Mr. Stowe, whatever that means. And so what I sort of internalized was, all right, I got to stop. I got to stop, first of all, berating myself, first of all, to the outside world, right? I got to stop doing that because we all know that, when you're out there playing a match, whether it's singles or doubles, and one of your opponents is going crazy over there, I think we kind of like it. I think it kind of gives us a little confidence. So I kind of went, well, maybe why would I do that? Why would I actually give my opponent more confidence by doing that? So look, in the beginning, when Mr. Stowe said, you got to take it like a man. So I just interpreted that as, all right, well, don't show any emotion. All right. And so in the beginning, and I probably went for years. I'll be the first one. I probably went for years, white knuckling that response at the end of a point. Okay, God dang it. I'm not going to show any emotion. I'm not going to pump up my opponent. I'm not going to be Mr. Drama Boy out there in terms of berating myself or anyone who can hear it. But I'm telling you, internally, I was probably doing more damage, right? And so I white knuckled my way through it. And lots of times I'd finally just, the thing would build up and finally it would just explode. And, racket would be flying. And I can remember a couple matches, man. The racket did not end up getting in my racket bag going home because it was in a couple pieces. So over the years, what I've discovered, and this is by watching the top guys, is that and I never see them outwardly berating themselves. And I've sort of run this question by them, what do you do when you're playing like crap? And And every one of them has given me this message, which is, come on, Brent, you really think that you can figure out this game to such a point that you never, ever miss another shot? Really? And I kind of go, well, I guess not, no. And they go, well, so you've got to accept that reality that it's never going to be perfect. And you're going to miss some shots, not only in the beginning of a match, when maybe it doesn't matter quite as much as it does at the end of a match, but you're going to miss shots at times that aren't that important and times that are super important for the rest of your tennis competitive career. And if you don't accept that as a reality, then you're probably going to stay as the drama boy that you are right now. And so I really took that to heart. And I, over the years, I just kind of desensitized myself to being okay that I'm going to miss some shots, and even some easy shots, right? And that once I accepted that reality, what I discovered is that in matches, if I didn't go off the rails when I missed a shot, if I didn't berate myself, even internally, no one else saw it, but if I didn't berate myself internally, if I started off a match and not playing great, or if I won the first set, now all of a sudden I wasn't playing well in the second set, what I discovered is that if I don't go into that self, that criticism, the self-critical mode, is that I had a better chance of not having big yo-yo swings emotionally in my match, and which would end up, sometimes I play a great ball up the line for a winner, and the next point I could just chunk the easiest thing of all time. And when I stopped berating myself, whether outwardly or inwardly, what I found is that, hey, the chances of you being able to play well, consistently play well for the rest of the match go up. And I never, ever had one match where I got all pissed off and I, was telling the whole world about it, where I came back to win a match. I never once, right? So if you're the kind of person right now that is really rough on yourself, what I'm going to suggest is you stop doing it. And that, number one, in the beginning, you're going to suck at it, right? You're probably going to do what I did, which was white knuckle your way for a while. And then eventually you just stick with it and you do it, and you just get better at it. And look, for me, I would say also the thing that's helped me is, you guys have heard me talk about this ad nauseum, which is my 4-part between points routine. And I learned that from Jim Lohr back whenever, quite a long time ago. And when I'm disciplined to doing it, it's even when I'm playing lousy, even when whatever the gods are conspiring against me. I played some doubles yesterday, did not have my best stuff, was kind of sloppy, throughout most of and we actually played 4 sets in, I don't know, 2+ hours. And I never really got it going. And I'm telling you, if I'd had that experience as I did yesterday, 15 years ago, 10 years ago, I would have been miserable, and I would have made everyone else on the court miserable as well. Not a great deal. So yesterday, and I remember commenting to one of my partners, just kind of going, we were switching partners throughout the whole thing, just going, a little sloppy today, and kind of, and this was after trying, a shot that maybe I make 90% of the time. And yesterday I was maybe not missing it 90% of the time, but missing it pretty often. And I just turned around to my partner and just kind of smiled and said, it's a little sloppy today. And, I kind of got a smile back. And so, look, I would encourage you guys to do a couple things if that's what you do, because you're making yourself miserable out there, and you're probably making others miserable as well, especially in a practice match. I mean, God, do we really want one of the players in a practice match just pissing and moaning? No, we don't. If it's a competitive thing and I'm playing in a tournament, yeah, bring it up. You want to piss and moan, when we're playing, love it. Go for it. But if you want to start consistently playing at the highest level of your skill level, whatever that is right now. And I've talked about this forever. We all play within the skill level range. Some days were great. Some sets were great. Some games were great. Even a few points were great. But we can also play down here as well, where we're not as great. And the key is to what's your top level? And rather than trying to move the entire skill level range up to what you want to play at the next high level, hey, man, get this lower level and bring it up to where your current top level is first. And then you can take that, small skill level and you can start working on how to move up to to those better guys on the court next to you. But there's two things I think that you ought to do. Number one is I think you ought to embrace the between points routine, and I'm happy to give it to you. In fact, I'll bribe you if you'll just share today's video, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube. Let me know that you shared it, and I'll go ahead and send you my 4-part between points routine. It's a little story, kind of a PDF. It's kind of a anyway. And then the other thing, oh my God, I just forgot what the other thing is. 4-part between points routine. I will think of it. This is great. Hold on for 1 second. Oh man, I just had it. Oh, I know what it was. So the other thing that's helped me too, and this is sort of recent. I read a great book, The Talent Code by Daniel Coyle, and several years ago. And the thing that I've now incorporated into my 4-part between points routine is when I miss a shot, when it's a real, almost a bonehead, unforced error, is I just tell myself, well, what I meant to do instead, and it could be swing technique, right? It could be swing technique, and I will dry rehearse 1 or 2 swings of that thing I just boneheaded, right? And I want to get the feeling, I want to get the positive feeling of what that swing is for the next time that I'm in that situation. Or if I've actually, I hit a good shot, I hit it cleaner than a whistle, but I missed it wide by a few inches, I'm just going to say, well, what I meant to do instead was bring that sucker, a good 2 feet inside the sideline, whatever it is. But it's not an opportunity to berate yourself. And so I've had this discussion with students, and most students, they don't want to go through that white knuckle stage. And look, the reason we do this, who knows? I mean, you need to sit down on the couch with someone with a PhD degree and go through it for a while. I don't know, but to me, it's really worked for me. It's really helped me that I got to accept reality. I just have to accept reality that there are going to be some points, some games, some sets, some matches, some days where just not happening. And that's okay. And in fact, what I try to do is when it's not happening, quote unquote, not happening, I try to turn that into a fitness opportunity. Okay. For whatever reason, I don't know. I'm not smart enough to know it. I don't think anyone is to know how to, like I did yesterday. Okay. Just a little sloppy today. So what? It just is. And by berating yourself, not only inwardly, but when you berate yourself to the general public, whether that's other people around on other courts or whether that's just the guys and the gals in the court with you, just stop it. Just stop it. And what I think you're going to find is when you get through that white knuckle phase is that you calm down and relax and you accept the reality that, look, it's never going to be perfect. And once you accept that, I think what you're going to discover is that whatever is the top of your skill level right now, your current top, is that you're more often going to play up to that skill level on a day in and day out basis. So that's my Monday rant for you. Hope this has helped. Like I said before, I'm happy to give you my 4-parts between points routine, which I got from the gym lore. I hybridized it for myself. And yes, now recently with the Daniel Coyle, the Talent Code book, what I meant to do instead phrase is now part of it. So maybe that's part, 1B, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, there's 1A. But maybe that's part 1B. And so I'm happy to give you that to you as a bribe if you'll go ahead and share or comment and share would be even best this video, and just let me know. I'll trust that you did it, and I'll shoot you that. I'll shoot you that PDF that explains my 4-part between points routine. Guys, I guess that's it. Made a few notes, but I think we're good. All right, listen. As always, love to hear from you, whether it's in the comment section, you want to direct message me, that's fine. Or you can shoot me an email, brent@webtennis.com. Always love to read your stuff, and I promise, 100% lockdown guarantee promise, I will respond to you. Guys, with that said, get out there today. Help someone else have a spectacular day. Guys, I will see you again tomorrow.